One health check. 4 hours. Total peace of mind. Beacon Hospital's Health Check is Ireland's only advanced health screening programme with results delivered on the same day. This is modern medicine. This is Beacon Hospital. Book your Beacon Health Check today at beaconhospital.ie.
Mixedgarage.com, Future Classics next up at Mondello Park, and on pole position it's MJ Farrell in the 11. He's already won in this class this year. Alongside him is young Daniel Byrne in the 1600 front-wheel drive twin-cam Corolla. Then it's Byrne in the 3 Series BMW, Tommy Byrne in the Celica, Phil Lawless, the Fiesta champion, in a Puma. Alongside him, Darrell Scully in the Honda CRX, a mid-engine car, very unusual. And then the two brothers, Aidan Byrne and Ken Byrne, in 2 Celicas. Row 5 is Jimmy Kilbride and Dave Owens. Then it's Vincent O'Rourke, Gilbert Clancy and Mike Darmody. And away they go down towards turn 1. Mixed in today with the Irish touring cars, so a packed grid of tin tops here, and a little bit hard to separate them, but it's Daniel Byrne gets the best start in that little Corolla. He drives that car so hard, wouldn't have the power of some of the big Celicas, but on this first lap he'll be trying to cling onto the back of the touring cars, make a break and get away from some of the other Future Classics. We're on board now with Darren Scully, and he's right in behind Dave Owens in that beautiful number 155, the Alpha 155, done in the Works Martini colours. Looks absolutely superb. Trying to have a look down the inside now. Darren Scully. Owens has that covered. Alan Healy on the outside. There's Phil Lawless on the outside, number 1 in the Puma. MJ Farrell gets alongside him, grabs third gear, just easing by the Puma, but Phil Lawless will be back down the inside on our left. Surely he knows Mondello better than most. There he is. You can just see him taking that dive again. Watch out for the white Corolla. There he is, right out onto the curbs. Daniel Byrne leading the Future Classics now and driving really well in the little Corolla. But the Celicas are coming. Look at the black Celica. Tommy Byrne weaving around. Huge straight line power in these Celicas. Little bit unwieldy around the corners. This is VW Vinny, Vincent O'Rourke, rallycross driver, having a go in the rallycross 205. Down to third, down to second gear now through the right-hander. Great onboard coverage with him. Car a little bit underpowered. That's Gilbert Clancy ahead of the Mitsubishi. He'll be chasing him down. On board again with Darrell Scully now in the little CRX, a mid-engine car, very unusual, beautifully turned out car, and he's going very nicely, heading down towards 7A and B, the two right-hand corners, trying to track down David Owens in that beautiful Alpha 155. Lawless just ahead of him, and then it's Ger Byrne in the rear-wheel drive BMW, great driver to watch in that rear-wheel drive BMW. We're on board with MJ Farrell now, down to second gear and into the right hand. Oh, there's Ger Byrne down the inside, the BMW, out of nowhere, just fires it down the inside. MJ Farrell gives him racing room, but goes out over the curbs on the way back. He'll want that place back. But here's Phil Lawless, an opportunistic move as ever, but Lawless goes in a bit deep, goes a little bit wide, and MJ does the undercut and gets back alongside him, grabs third gear. He'll be trying to get up the inside of Ger Byrne here. They're side by side, the Abbey Long car on the outside, sitting it out round the outside. Great stuff. MJ Farrell gets that one back, but certainly not being handed it there. Ger Byrne right up for a fight, oversteer on turn in as well from that car. So the 11, and that's Lawless next up. Ger Byrne has dropped back a little bit. He's gone out over the curbs. Here's Gilbert Clancy now, and Vincent O'Rourke has got right back up onto his back bumper. These two cars fairly equally matched. The Rallycross spec 1.6205 right there with the Mitsubishi as they come out onto the main straight. The Punto just ahead of them there. Dermody, he started right at the back. He's moved up a few places. So great action now from the Future Classics. Phil Lawless right in the mix. We haven't seen this Puma out before. Just as I say it, he's slowing down. There's a problem there for Lawless as he comes out of turn 1. Very much a front runner, in fact the champion in Fiestas, but not looking too good for him today. We're on board again with Darrell Scully now, right out onto the curb on the exit of turn 2. Good clean run to turn 3, the double apex right hand corner in through the first bit, and then we're on board with MJ Farrell as he negotiates the second bit of that corner, back up the hill now. Second gear corner, he'll grab third just there on the way down towards the old S's, or the long left-hander Bridgestone corner as it is now. It leads out onto the International. That car also a little bit oversteery there as he turns it in. That's how you set up a good front-wheel drive car normally. Back end a little bit loose. There's Dan Byrne now in the little twin-cam Corolla, going beautifully. He's got a second or two, but it's the Celicas are coming up, his uncles coming back up towards him. This family very much involved, the Byrnes in this class, and the Celicas are moving towards the front. Darrell Scully turns the car in, gets it through. Good run. That's a crucial corner because it leads onto a long back straight, so you've got to get a good run through there. MJ Farrell on board with him again. Did have a Punto. He's moved up to this 11 car now, and it's going really, really well for him. A little bit out of shape on the brakes, a little bit loose on the brakes, that car, but it does go very well. Fires it in, very aggressive turn in there to get that car turned into 7A and B, and the same again for 7B. And right out to the curb on the way out, second gear grabbing third on the way up the hill. Trying to catch those cars in front. Some good battles. That's Tommy Byrne in front, I think. Indeed it is, the black Celica. And again, a very aggressive turn in there by MJ Farrell. This is Farrell, Scully and Ger Byrne back up to them again in the BMW, the 323 rear-wheel drive BMW. Scully trying to close down the 11 now in the little Honda CRX. Mid-engine car, as we said, very, very unusual. It's a good run out, heading back towards the old circuit now. Wave flags on the outside, yellow flags. It looked like perhaps there's somebody off. The little bit of debris on the track there, the inside half a bumper. Here's Daniel Byrne with the Celicas, are definitely getting a little bit closer. Daniel Byrne now, Aidan Byrne and Ken Byrne. And then Tommy Byrne, the three of them. So the three Celicas now have got by the rest, and they're closing down the little 1600 twin cam Corolla. Shouldn't really be out there ahead of these 2 litre Celicas, but it pushes very, very hard. Owen's all on his own in the Alpha, and it's Dermody in the Punto. And Vincent O'Rourke has got by Gilbert Clancy in that battle, so the Colts dropped back a place on the 205 open place. Ger Byrne now having a go again at Scully as they come down through the double apex right-hander. There's Tommy Byrne in the black Celica. Down into the S's now, the little Corolla cocking the inside rear wheel. Dan Byrne driving on the door handles, trying to fight off these Celicas, but Aidan Byrne, the champion-elect, the man that can win the championship today, going really well. We're on board with him now. Great shot from Aidan Byrne as he closes in on the little 1600 Corolla. Now the Corolla should be a lot better around the corners, locking a wheel, firing the car. Oh, big opposite lock moment for Aidan Byrne, well held. That's cost him a lot of time. Just what we're talking about. There are a handful of these Celicas that can get out of shape, they're heavy and they can be a little bit wallowy, but that was well held by Aidan Byrne, and really had to get the opposite lock and stand on the power to pull that back straight. On board again now with Darrell Scully, heading down towards 7A and B. Still trying to fight off Ger Byrne, who's behind us, and that's the 11, I think, in front of MJ Farrell. Indeed it is. Closes in on MJ on the brakes. Right up over that inside curb. Same again on the second curb. Back with MJ Farrell now. He'll be looking at the mirror. There he is, checking out this battle behind. Covering the inside just a little bit. Fires it in again. Very aggressive turn in from MJ. Obviously works for him. Aidan Byrne now again. He's got the car back in shape, and he's closing right in on Dan Byrne and the little Corolla. Corolla definitely quicker through that long left-hander, but it won't have the brake horsepower of Aidan Byrne's Celica, and that's where he's going to struggle if Aidan can get anywhere close to him on the main straight. Again, Dan Byrne ramps it up over the inside curb, buys himself a little bit of time, perhaps holding the centre of the road. Then once he gets to the braking area, back to the outside, gets the car turned in. Beautiful little front-wheel drive Corolla, and Aidan Byrne up over the inside curb now, tracking that Corolla, and he should surely be able to get alongside here as they come out of the main straight. Probably a little bit mindful of the barrier time. They don't race on the international track too often. None of the classes do, so it's great to see these cars getting to stretch their legs. Almost gets alongside, and again that locked back wheel from Daniel Byrne defends his position. He's holding on with Aidan Byrne right with him. Ken Byrne next up, then Tommy Byrne. But Tommy Byrne being hauled in now with these two battling cars. The 11 and the CRX are right under the back wing of the total livery car, Tommy Byrne. Aidan Byrne riding over that second apex of turn 3 now, trying to get a run up here, just looking for a way by. It's going to be on the straight, surely, if he's going to have a go. He gets alongside on the way into the S's. Daniel Byrne hanging on though on the inside, just about. I don't think so, Uncle. You can stay out there, says Dan Byrne, but surely the Celica now will get the run uphill here. Dan Byrne holding the inside line. He's been around Mondello for many years, racing the last few. And Aidan Byrne gets alongside, but Daniel Byrne goes back at him on the brakes and hangs onto it through the right-hander. Is that going to allow the Celica a run? And indeed it is, but he actually has to lift out of that one there. Got a run and didn't really know what to do, so he's gone down the outside. Good stuff from Aidan Byrne. He reacted well, went down the outside. Can he get the nose ahead? Indeed he can, and nothing Dan Byrne can do. He's got to tuck in behind him. I wonder can he get back at him on the brakes. Now it looks like Aidan Byrne's got the job done. Gets it turned in. Little bit of understeer there. You can see but uses a lot of lock to get around these tighter corners. And look in the mirror there on the right hand side, you can see the headlight of the Corolla. Dan Byrne wants that back. He knows the TV cameras are here today. Great battle now. Look at this. The CRX Scully has got alongside Tommy Byrne. And similarly, this battle should be good because the Celicas are very quick, but a little bit of a handful mid-corner. Darrell Scully all over the back now as they go through Bahrain's bends. Tommy Byrne a little bit wide, doesn't get to the apex, out over the curb. That's enough for Scully to get down the inside. On the brakes now, down into second gear, gets it turned in. It looks like he's got the place. As he comes out, gets on the power, and they're heading back to a little bit of contact there. Sideways stuffing off on the outside. It looks like they just made a lot of contact there, and he's opposite lock and lost 2 places. And Dan Byrne having a go for the lead again, gets down the inside, looking for the switchback, but he probably won't have enough power. Aidan Byrne has that covered. On board now again, with Scully up the inside. Oh, contact with Tommy Byrne, both cars off in the gravel. That's unfortunate and unusual. These guys, they should be able to continue, I think, as long as they're not too far in the gravel. That's Scully again, just locked up, and into the side of the total Celica, the black Celica. Should be able to select reverse maybe and get out of this one. There's the battle for the lead again. Daniel Byrne down the outside. Aidan Byrne now has changed from the aggressor to the defender as he tries to hang on. But great stuff from the little twin cam Corolla. And there's Scully who's actually managed to rejoin. Daniel Byrne looks like he's beached, getting a little bit of wheel spin as he tries to rejoin. But Darrell Scully back on track. The steering looks like it's pretty much straight. On board with the leader now, Aidan Byrne. Feeding the wheel, gets it turned in again. It just does look a little bit unwieldy through the tighter corners, this Celica, but he hasn't made any mistakes yet. Second gear, about to go to the third. There's Scully with the rearranged front end. He's being hauled in now by Vincent O'Rourke. We're on board now with Vincent O'Rourke as he comes out of turn 1. Well set up car, looked after by Murphy Motorsport in Clane. No understeer in that car as he goes through turn 2. Very little lock. Compare that to Aidan Byrne, who has to wind the lock on his Celica. Back on board with MJ Farrell again. Third gear, down to second, gets it turned in and almost has to apply a little bit of opposite lock. Great to see the different driving styles and different cars, of course. Aidan Byrne, as we said, having to wind that lock on the slower corners, but the car looks quite good through the quick stuff. Good run out the back straight now. One of the touring cars off on the inside. That doesn't affect these guys. Aidan Byrne just beginning to ease out a bit of a lead from Daniel Byrne, the twin cam. Gets the Celica turned in, gets to the apex. He's been racing for many, many years. Ritmos, Unos, Shanes, many different classes. Hugely experienced, Aidan Byrne. Here he comes out of 7B now and up the hill towards Bahrain's Benz. Named after Martin Bahrain, the owner of the circuit. Daniel Byrne goes back at him now on the brakes. Corolla will be lighter and probably easier on its tyres, and I'm sure from this moment on the race it'll be a little bit easier to drive. Let's watch this. Aidan Byrne down to second. Again, a little bit more lock than you'd like there. Full half turn of lock, but he's controls it nicely. Doesn't keep winding the lock on. Gets the car out of the corner, third gear. Then through paddock corner, a favourite with the drivers. So if he can keep this up, it's probably looking good for the championship for Aidan Byrne. He's already got one hand metaphorically on the title, but Daniel Byrne has other ideas. Down the outside, I don't care if you're my uncle or not. Down to second gear. The Corolla is certainly looking a little bit better now through the twiddly stuff. We're on board again with Darryl Scully, and again, opposite lock. That car's a little bit of a handful off onto the outside. Problem with the car, it looks like, unfortunately for Darryl Scully. I wonder is that fluid on the rear tyres as a result of the crash. Here they come now, and again, Daniel Byrne having to go. Ken Byrne beginning to close up on these two. So it's Aidan Byrne, Daniel Byrne, and Ken Byrne now. Out of turn 1 and through turn 2, flat out in these cars, and Aidan Byrne letting the car run right out to the exit curb. Keep the speed up all the way down to turn 3, and this is where the Celica isn't particularly good. A little bit floaty through the first bit, and again a lot of lock for that first bit, then down. Doesn't leave the inside line closed at all. Gets right into the inside curb in second gear though, and stands on the power, Aidan Byrne. Once he stood on the power, it's job done, because even if Daniel Byrne gets a run on him, that Celica should be clearly quicker in a straight line. 2 litre car, of course, compared to the little 1600 twin cam Corolla. There's MJ Farrell now, and he's ahead of Ger Byrne, that is, again in the BMW, right with him, the Abbey Lawn car. We're on board now with MJ as he heads down towards the S's, third gear again, down to second, and again that car looks a little bit tricky on turn in. Aidan Byrne's got the other problem, it's a little bit understeer at this stage of the race again. Not too bad that time, gets to the inside curb, right out to the outside. That's one of the Irish touring cars, Alan Healy, going slowly. We get by him on the back straight. That's delayed him just a little bit though. I think Daniel Byrne's got the run. He's opportunistic, he's not going to give this one up, and Ken Byrne gets the run on both of them now, so that's closed them all up. Ken Byrne looking down the inside, I think he's done it. Could possibly outbrake the twin cam, no way. Daniel Byrne goes back at him, the car's lighter and the tyres won't be as well used, but it was a good effort initially from Ken Byrne to fire it down the inside, but Daniel Byrne just shot down the outside, later on the brakes and held on to that one. Not sure if he was expecting that, probably concentrating on trying to get the lead back up front. And he's got away now from Ken Byrne, and he's still trying to close down Aidan Byrne, but Aidan Byrne looking very unruffled and not at all pressurised. It's all very calm in the cockpit of that Celica. Gets turned in again, right into that apex, clips that inside curb, and right out the outside. Aidan was an instructor at Mondello Park many years ago, so he'll know his way around here like nobody else. Here's MJ Farrell now getting by that ITCC car. That's Alan Healy still circulating slowly. Obviously a problem with that car, looking for some championship points. But no problem for MJ as he grabs third gear and heads back towards the national track. Dan Byrne on the attack again. He's got the nose ahead. Right around the outside this time. Doesn't do a switchback. That might work, but I'm sure that Celica will be a little bit quicker. Not much in it as they're coming towards us now. Neck and neck. The Celica picks up her skirts though and starts to run as they go under the bridge. And just says, I don't think so, Dan. Aidan's going to hang on to this one. Hard on the brakes now and down into second gear. As we said, the Celica, a big heavy car, and it'll be hard on its tyres later on in the race. So Daniel Byrne will be well aware of that, and he'll really be having a go, as you can see. And Ken Byrne dropping back slightly in third place. Then the battling pair coming towards them with Ger Byrne and MJ Farrell. We're on board again with the leader, Aidan Byrne, out to turn 3. The helmet box a little bit loose in the passenger footwell there, but that won't bother him in the slightest. He'll be more interested in watching his mirror. Here comes Dan Byrne on the brakes again, closing right in under the back wing of the Celica. But as we go to on board with Aidan Byrne, he just doesn't look flustered at all by this. Looks like he's on a warm-up lap. It's all very calm and relaxed in the cockpit of the Celica. And probably knows he can stay where he is and win this championship. He'd be absolutely delighted with that if he could take it. Tommy Byrne looked like he was leading it early on, but Aidan Byrne has done the job in the second half of the season and looking very strong now. Ken Byrne could take second place from Tommy if he gets some good results here today as well. Aidan Byrne again gets the car turned. A lot of lock again. Car beginning to understeer more than we had seen. In fact, having to go down to second gear there. and holding the inside line. So again, he knows the Corolla's quicker through there. That was defensive stuff by him, slowing them both right down to stop Daniel Byrne getting a run onto the back straight. And it's worked because he's got away there. We saw him looking into the rear view mirror and then the outside mirror. But Aidan Byrne gone uber defensive now to hold back that little nimble 1600 Corolla. Right in over the curves. An uphill section here now as they grab third. Back up towards Bahrain's Benz. On board again with Vincent O'Rourke. And again, look how little lock he uses compared to Aidan Byrne. Car really well set up. No understeer, just deficient in brake horsepower really. A little 1.6. Yellow flags being waved in the background. Nothing to do with the leaders, but Daniel Byrne still having a go. Is he quicker through here? He is slightly quicker through here. Could he possibly have a go up into the final corner, south side Motor Factory's corner? Down the outside on the brakes though. A little wave or adjusting his mirror there. I'm not sure what was happening inside the cockpit. Tries to sit around the outside again. Aidan Byrne covering the inside on the way out. And that's important because if Daniel Byrne could get up the inside, his car is almost as quick as we saw the last time and he could snatch that lead back. But Aidan Byrne hanging on here in second place. In the lead, I should say, Daniel Byrne in second place. It's all the Byrnes. Then it's Ken Byrne, then MJ Farrell, then Ger Byrne in the BMW. I think those two guys are possibly closing down Ken Byrne for that third place. Aidan selects third gear again, right in over that inside curb. And with the throttle full way open all the way through that corner. It's absolutely flat on these cars. And a little bit of a lift and then back on the power to get through the first bit of turn 3. And then straight onto the brakes and down to second. Get the car stopped, turned in and back on the power as early as you can to get up this hill. Good stuff again from Aidan Byrne. Not one mistake so far. And he can't afford to make one because he can't drop this little Corolla. Dan Byrne is hanging on like a terrier in second place. Aidan Byrne now down into the S's. The long left-hander Bridgestone corner today. We'd normally go right here, but today we're using the international track, so right out onto the exit curb and up this Kennedy's Rise to Lola or Parabolica corner, the quick right-hand corner. Crucial corner because it leads onto the back straight. We're on board again with VW Vinny, Vincent O'Rourke in the 205. Is he slowing? I think possibly he is. Yeah, there's a problem with that car. So the leader coming towards us one more time, and I wonder has Daniel Byrne run out of ideas here because he's tried everywhere. He's gone alongside on numerous occasions but can't quite get that lead back. Closing in again on the brakes down at the 7ARB. He must have taken 3 or 4 lengths there, but as we said, the car a lot lighter and quicker again through 7B and almost gets up beside the Celica. But then the Celica just manages to hold that gap and in fact increase it slightly on the way up the hill. Second gear now for Aidan Byrne as he comes through here. Full half-turner lock. Look in the mirror on the right-hand side. You can see the Corolla ready to pounce any mistakes at all. But we haven't had one so far. Down to second again. Turns it in and feeds the power on now, right out to the outside. That's Adrian Dunn, a former Future Classics competitor who's racing in Irish touring cars this weekend. He stays out of the way. Good driving from him. Doesn't turn into the apex and the two guys slice by him. So it doesn't really affect anyone there. Adrian Dunn moving to the outside. Aidan Byrne probably had a little panic attack when he saw that happening, but it all went to plan. Daniel Byrne trying that run right round the outside again, not even trying a switchback. Tries to get that full run, get on the power early, but again, Celica just quicker in a straight line. Very, very difficult. Checkered flag. Those two take the checkered flag together. But with the readjusted times, it's Ken Byrne who takes the win. Ger Byrne in second place. Aidan Byrne's time penalty puts him back to third place.
Look, it was a good, clean race. We enjoyed it, and look, that's what it's all about. It's just once we can bring the cars back in and everything is happy, and look, there's no arguments. Cars are all back in the one piece. That's what we want. The championship is actually tied up between myself and the brother Tommy in the other black Celica. So it's actually between us two. So it's more or less you're watching Tommy, what he's up to. So even though Dan is there dicing, you're sort of in the mirror. You're trying to look back so many cars down the track to see how far you can get a jump on the brother Tommy. So we get an awful lot of slagging. It's a family affair, but look, we just love the race. We started off. We tried to go racing ourselves. We tried something different. We tried this about 3-4 years ago, and look, it's proven. Like, we're getting good numbers out there, and it's cheap and cheerful.
German dominance, true precision engineering, raw power. BMW has been one of the world-leading manufacturers since 1916, and here at Mondello Park, you can find out why. New to 2017, our BMW Driving Experience packages are the perfect opportunity to get behind the wheel of some of the best cars on the road in the form of the M2 Coupe or M4 Coupe. Simply pick your desired choice or drive both. Book today at mondellopark.ie.
Welcome back. It's Future Classics Race 2. It's MJ Farrell going to start this one on pole position. Ger Byrne alongside him. Watch out for the BMW off the line. Then Daniel Byrne, Tommy Byrne, Darrell Scully, Aidan Byrne, Philip Lawless and Ken Byrne. Then it's Jimmy Kilbride, Dave Owens, Vincent O'Rourke, Gilbert Clancy and Mike Dermody. Away they go, and as we suspected, Ger Byrne gets the jump. The rear-wheel drive traction in the BMW gets away. There he is. We're on board with Aidan Byrne coming down the outside, but Ger Byrne has it on the inside of the BMW with the back wing. Ignore the touring cars for the purposes of this one. But the Future Classics mixing it with the production class of the touring cars in the early stages. And Gilbert Clancy sitting around the outside of Vincent O'Rourke there. For that place, Darrell Scully, we're on board with him now. Jimmy Kilbride up front in the little 106. Looking to get by David Owens in that beautiful Alpha 155 we saw earlier. On board now with Daniel Byrne, run around the outside. He's got one car. He's going to have a go with two cars. Down the outside of Ken Byrne now as he goes down to second gear. Brave stuff. Round the outside of the first apex. Gets one car put away. I think that's MJ Farrell. Doesn't quite manage to get by the Castrol liveried Celica of Ken Byrne, I should say, just yet. Aidan Byrne now's taking the lead off camera. He's got ahead of Ger Byrne. In fact, he's right with the touring cars. That's Dave Clark in front of the Golf, so almost in the way. Aidan Byrne on a flyer here on the opening lap of the big Celica. Right out to the outside, third gear now on the way up the hill. And there's Ger Byrne back to second place. Then it's Ken Byrne, Daniel Byrne, it looks like, and Tommy Byrne. Then it's MJ Farrell. And then Jimmy Kilbride going well, the little 106. Ger Byrne a little bit wide, and Ken Byrne looks up the inside. Great shots, really hanging it through the right-hander there at Parabolica corner. And the big long run down the back straight. The Golf beginning to ease away now as the Irish touring cars get away. Far less restrictive in terms of regulations, of course. But Aidan Byrne now in the Celica gets turned in. He didn't make any mistakes in race one. He's out front. This will again confirm that championship win for him if he can stay there. Right out onto the cars, pushing very hard on the opening lap. Daniel Byrne again having a real go in the twin cam Corolla. Here he comes back up the hill. This is where he's very quick. He just fires the car in. Watch the steering here. Flicks the car into the right, try and unsettle the back, and then stands on the power. But Ken Byrne Celica looking quite composed in front there and having a real go as he goes right out over the curb at Ger Byrne and the BMW. Down the inside, last minute dive from Ken, but Ger Byrne has that covered. Great battles in Mixed Garage Future Classics now. And there's Vincent O'Rourke down the inside. He gets by the Alpha 155. O'Rourke up another place. Aidan Byrne in over the curves, catching that Golf again through the twisty section, but not quite as quick in a straight line. Down to second gear. You won't want to get mixed up with these Irish touring cars. You'd be happier if they started to pull away. Right up over the inside curb, Aidan Byrne. Daniel Byrne gets down the inside of Ken Byrne though. Can he hang on to that one now as they come out onto the main straight? They're both getting a run at Ger Byrne and the BMW. I think Daniel's done enough. Down to turn one, Aidan Byrne still leading now, stretching that lead out. Then it's Ger Byrne, Daniel Byrne up a place as we said. Then Ken Byrne, Tommy Byrne, MJ going through, Jimmy Kilbride going beautifully. The little 106, problems in race one, right in the mix this time round. Daniel Byrne again pushing on as he always does, very much boxing above his weight. Little 1600cc Corolla. Aidan Byrne again looking fully relaxed as he always does. Second gear, right into that inside curb. And right out to the exit there, into third on the way back up towards the main arena here at Mondello Park. We're on board with Darrell Scully now, and Kilbride's got ahead in the little 106. Really nimble little car. Let's see if the CRX is quicker in a straight line. There's not much in it as they come back. Again, the same place we saw Aidan Byrne, down to the off-camber left-hand corner. Out onto the international circuit again, and it's Aidan Byrne still leading and hanging onto those Irish touring cars. This is a great battle. There's Jimmy Kilbride right under the back wing of MJ Farrell in the 11, and Darrell Scully right with him in that beautiful CRX, the mid-engine car, repaired after race one. Towards the top of the hill, here's Aidan Byrne already out onto the back straight, using every inch of tarmac there to get that run onto the back straight. Crucial corner, as we said, because it dictates your speed all the way down this long straight. To the left-hand kink then, and hard on the brakes for 7A and B, the two right-handers out there. Daniel Byrne now later on the brakes and firing the car in. We see that aggressive turn in again. A lot of front-wheel drive racers use that to unsettle the back. They could stand on the power earlier. Ger Byrne's car, typical rear-wheel drive, a dab of opposite lock there as he goes out over the curbs. Former Formula V racer, really drives that BMW hard. Scully gets a run on the 106. He's a little bit quicker as they head up towards the right-hander. Kilbride sits around the outside though, little 106 handling as well as you'd expect, and hangs onto that place with Darrell Scully beginning to pile the pressure on now. It's a good battle between these three very different cars. Again, he has a look down the inside. Kilbride has it more interested, in fact, in having a go at the car in front, and he's all over MJ Farrell now as they come out of that long left-hander and along the short straight towards Paddock Corner. He's hardly going to have a go there. And Daniel Byrne having a go at Ger Byrne now on the brakes up into the final corner, up the outside, classic Mondello manoeuvre. Switch back to the inside. The BMW, a little bit of understeer mid-corner doesn't help, but the six-cylinder BMW should be able to pull away from that 1.6 twin-cam Corolla on a straight line. The 106 still having a go. That's a classic battle between those three guys. Here they come out onto the main straight. MJ Farrell just holding off Jimmy Kilbride, and right with them, of course, is Darrell Scully. Then it's VW Vinny, Vincent O'Rourke having got by two cars. Dave Owens in the little 155 and Gilbert Clancy in the Mitsubishi. 106 still sandwiched by the Japanese machinery down at turn one. Daniel Byrne on the door handles as ever. Is there any way he can get by this big BMW in front? He's not close enough to have a run around the outside, or is he? Gets a little bit out of shape as he flicks it through the first kink there. But Ger Byrne defending beautifully, as we said. Former Formula V racer, the Abbey Lawn man, and placing the car perfectly, getting on the power, a little twitch from the back of the BMW, and just gets away. Good traction up out of that final corner. And Daniel Byrne has more to worry about because Ken Byrne now closing both of this pair down in the Celica and bringing Tommy Byrne with him. So a two-car battle becoming a four-car battle in future classics. Aidan Byrne, nobody troubling Aidan Byrne as he eases away out front. Ger Byrne second, Daniel Byrne next up the battle we were just watching. On board again with Daniel Byrne. Great to watch. He just fires the car in again. A very aggressive turn in and actually has to apply opposite lock there before he stands on the power. The back end becoming a little bit loose, but the BMW is very good through that corner as well and then gets to stretch his legs on the back straight. Darryl Scully still trying to get by this little 106. He's got a good run here though out of that long right-hander Parabolica. Should be slightly quicker in a straight line. Kilbride holding the centre of the road. Scully goes back to the right though as they go down towards 7A. Hard braking zone here. Can he get it done on the inside? I don't think so. The 106 late on the brakes and manages to close the door. The 106 hangs on and that battle keeps going through the double right-hander back up the hill now. Scully quicker there, but Kilbride just holding the 106 right in the centre of the road. Flicks to the right again. He's slightly quicker in a straight line, but not much. But the 106 is so light and late on the brakes. There's a good flick down the inside. A cracking move from Daniel Byrne there to get that BMW away. And it had to be a move like that. He wasn't going to do it on the straight. And Ger Byrne gets on the power really early and gets good traction down the corner. So a surprise last minute lunge from Daniel Byrne. He flicks the car almost in celebration through paddock corner. That was a cracking move. And I don't think Ger Byrne saw that coming. But Ger Byrne has more to worry about already because he immediately comes under attack now from Ken Byrne in the Celica. Ken tries to get a switch back, but the BMW again with that mid-corner traction manages to hang on. Tommy Byrne gets the best view in the house for all this in front. On board again with Vincent O'Rourke. Gets it way out of shape. VW Vinny almost goes around, but luckily keeps it pinned. And a big deep breath, I think, for the VW man there as he heads back up the hill. And Aidan Byrne now running wide. In fact, the problem for Aidan Byrne, he's dropped back one place, two places. Suddenly going very slowly. I'm not sure if that was a mistake. That leaves Daniel Byrne out front in the little 1600 Corolla. He's looking left to right going, what happened there? How did I get in the lead? Down to third, flicks it in, stands on the power again. Doesn't leave any gap on the inside, so not the full racing line. He doesn't want to compromise that because he's got cars right behind him, but using all the track on the way out. Ger Byrne, the danger man, still right with him in the BMW. Both coming down towards Bridgestone corner now. And the twin cam cocking the inside rear wheel as we've seen before. The BMW a little bit of understeer mid-corner, lifts the inside front briefly and then goes into opposite lock. Daniel Byrne knows he's under pressure on this part of the circuit. See that little look in the mirror there. Where's Ger? He's right behind you. And the big long back straight is where he's going to be in trouble. And in fact, Aidan Byrne dropped back a few more places there. He's Tommy Byrne in front of him now and Ken Byrne. So both brothers have got by. So whatever problem seems to be gone. Aidan Byrne back up to speed again, but maybe went a little bit wide down to turn one. The three Celicas now, Leinster on the back straight. And that's not bothering Daniel Byrne. It's the BMW he's watching. Centre of the road. There's the BMW. Look at the mirror on the right hand side. Got alongside. But Daniel Byrne sat down the outside of the brakes and took that one back. He's under big pressure here. Ger Byrne having a real go. Daniel Byrne right out to the outside again. Three Celicas now. Leinster, and as we said, Ken leads, Tommy leads Aidan. Aidan Byrne was leading this one and leading it well. He's fallen back, but he's slotted in behind these, and as you can see, he's back up to racing speed. So Ken Byrne's currently quickest of the Celicas, but nothing these three guys can do about the duo in front. Daniel Byrne really pushing hard, and Ger Byrne all over him. Aidan having a look down the inside of Tommy Byrne there. Tommy goes very wide, doesn't get to an apex again. You can see the understeer on Tommy's car. That's what's happening with Aidan. We saw in race one, the understeer in that car slows a little bit there on the way to paddock corner though. I wonder is Aidan Byrne in some sort of trouble, because Tommy just took 3 or 4 lengths out of him there and drove away. And Aidan Byrne moving from left to right for some reason on the braking zone up towards the final corner. The car certainly looks fine up over the inside curb. Daniel Byrne again looking in the mirror and looking and making sure the BMW doesn't get by, hugging the white line as he goes under the bridge. No gap down the inside. Once he gets into the braking zone, he's safe. He knows that he's using his head and he goes right out to the outside. But look in the mirror, there's Ger Byrne right with him in the BMW. Still hanging on out front, and the Celica is still getting closer. Aidan Byrne dropped back just a little bit, but Tommy Byrne having a real go now at Ken Byrne, and a good view here to turn 2. Aidan Byrne, Tommy kicks up a little bit of dust on the inside. All three cars very, very similar. Tommy again on the right, moving around now, trying to get by Ken Byrne. Right with him as they go down to turn 3. Aidan Byrne closes in on both of them though with a good run there. Clear track ahead for Daniel Byrne, but it's not all plain sailing because that BMW is still piling the pressure on. And you can see Dan Byrne wiping a bit of sweat from the forehead there as he looks in the mirror again down into the S's. He certainly doesn't get any time to breathe in this car. Pushing really hard all the time in the little front wheel drive Corolla. Gets it turned in. One mistake and the BMW will be alongside and gone probably in a straight line. So he's got to contain this. He's got to get good runs out of all the corners and maintain his speed. They're still easing away now from the 3 Celicas. That's closing up. Daniel Byrne with the big flick there into that corner again into Parabolica. Standing on the power and all the track being used on the way out. On board with Aidan Byrne. Second gears we see through that corner unusual, but it's late on in the race and the tyres, as we said, go off a little bit in these Celicas towards the end. Down through the kink. Oh, look at that, a flick in again from Daniel Byrne. Dab of opposite lock as he turns in to straighten it up. And again, the second flick in over the right hand side. And again, watch for the look in the mirror. looks in the passenger, or the door mirror that time, just have a quick look and see where the BMW is. Ken Byrne getting away now, and Tommy Byrne dropping back into the clutches of Aidan Byrne. Aidan moves out to the right to have a look. Doesn't manage it on that occasion, so the intriguing battle between the three Celicas now. Three brothers in three Celicas. Ken Byrne leading, Tommy Byrne in second, and on board now with Aidan Byrne. He's right out over the curb there. Did well to hang on to that. That could have got nasty. Tommy Byrne again locks a brake, doesn't get into the apex. Aidan should be quicker on the way back out of this one. Not really though. Tommy manages to carry the speed as they're coming back towards the old circuit. Through paddock corner, right in over the curb. Aidan Byrne taking more curb than the other two, but it doesn't gain him anything on the way up the hill. Tommy Byrne goes defensive and then back to the outside once he sees that Aidan doesn't have a go up the inside line. So Tommy Byrne obviously concentrating on the mirror now and not as much on Ken Byrne up front. On board again with Aidan Byrne watching this battle, and Tommy Byrne moving to the right, back to the left as they go towards the braking area. Ken Byrne in full defensive mode. Tommy gets alongside him though on the brakes. Doesn't go around the outside, switches back to the inside on the exit. That's more a means of piling pressure on than anything else. Vincent O'Rourke again, right up over the inside curb. Aggressive stuff from him, and that's Dave Owens in the 155 Alpha in front of him. He's been ahead of that car, so he must have had an issue. He did get ahead of it early on, as we saw. Pulling fourth gear now on the main straight. Vincent O'Rourke, the claim man, down towards the first corner. And again, Ger Byrne trying everything he knows. But the three Celicas now are getting really close. Ken Byrne under pressure from Tommy Byrne, and right with them is Aidan Byrne. Down towards the off-camber left-hander. Bridgestone corner. Nobody making any inroads here, but it's very, very close. Ken just hanging on. Aidan Byrne still not sure what happened when he slowed down that time. I think he might have gone just a little bit wide. He's recovered and he's right back with them now. And Vincent O'Rourke now pushing very, very hard to try and close that Alpha down. He is closing the Alpha down. A good run to turn 3 there. Got him a lot of time. The Alpha very slightly quicker though. You can see it disappearing from under that big mirror. It's almost like a truck mirror he has there. It gives us a good view of him on board as he comes down into the S's again, trying to close in. He's quicker through the twiddly bits. Obviously the 205 a little bit better sorted than that big Alpha. V6 engine Alpha, 2.5 litre. Glorious sound from that. Ger Byrne using up what he's doing it exactly right. Ger Byrne here placing the car, tries to get that traction on the way to get up the inside on the way up the hill, but Daniel Byrne had that covered. But Ger trying to set it up for a move on the exit of a corner, which is where the BMW is at its best. Doesn't have a look down the inside here. Daniel Byrne covers the inside just in case, and that should allow a later turn in. We're back on board again with Vincent O'Rourke, heading down towards 7A and B with that Alpha in front. We assume the Alpha's in front. All you can see is the mirror up over the inside curb again, and there's the back bumper of the Alpha. As soon as they get to the braking zone, he closes it right down. Kilbride in the background having a great run in the little 106. The three Celicas still locked in combat though. Tommy Byrne going from having a go at Ken Byrne to keep defending there because Aidan is right with him. Aidan, of course, about to win the championship if it ends up like this, and in fact Ken Byrne could possibly steal second place from Tommy, so this battle really does matter, certainly for the first two. I think Aidan Byrne gets the title regardless. Daniel Byrne hanging on in front of the TV cameras ahead of the big BMW, 3.2 litre 6-cylinder BMW and a 1600cc Corolla, as we said. So great stuff from Daniel Byrne now as he sits it out through the left-hander and still holds off the BMW. Nothing the Celicas can do about this pair at this stage. Then it's the CRX of Darrell Scully next up, all on his own, and then I think it's Kilbride. Daniel Byrne holding the inside line. Brave stuff from Ger Byrne. It's a big unwieldy machine and he has to go right round the outside there. I think Daniel Byrne knows that's safe enough. Big armful of opposite lock for Ger Byrne when he stands on the power there, and the wayward back end of the BMW just lets go, but he holds on to it nicely. He's on the outside, he's alongside again, so he's beginning to get runs up alongside the Corolla, and that's all he needs really. If he could do one of the long straights, he may be able to snatch this place away. Vincent O'Rourke's still trying, but the 155 beginning to ease away from him just a little bit now. So heading back down towards 3.8. That's where he normally goes, right at the rallycross at the hole in the hedge, but not today. It's circuit racing for Vincent O'Rourke. Clicks that first apex right out to the outside. Again, he's on the edge. He's not as composed as we saw. That's a lot of understeer that time around. So in fact, that's one of the touring cars going by him. Shane Rabbit and Jay O'Reilly going by. So Vinnie O'Rourke having to give them a little bit of space there. Celicas together again, and this time Tommy Byrne has got ahead. No, he hasn't. They've dropped. Ken Byrne's got away. Excuse me. It's Tommy Byrne now, and it's Aidan Byrne. But look who's caught them from way back. Flying job by Darrell Scully. We're on board with him now, and the Celicas all over the place at this stage of the race. He fires it down the inside of Aidan. That's what you got to do when you catch someone in motor racing. You don't sit behind them. You can get into a rhythm. So he's attacking them straight away. But the battle of the Celicas now being joined by Scully charging up through the grid. There's bits all over the track as they head up to the final corner. Nobody leaving any gap down the inside though. Ken Byrne is through, Tommy Byrne is through, Aidan Byrne is through, and Darrell Scully right with him on the run to the line. I think that's the way they're going to cross the line. Indeed it is. Ken Byrne gets it, Tommy Byrne right with him, and there's the checkered flag. Great action all the way through from Mixed Garage Future Classics. Time penalties included though, and Ken Byrne doesn't just get the best of the Celicas battle, he gets the win from Aidan Byrne, Jimmy Kilbride, Darrell Scully, Tommy Byrne, Ger Byrne and Daniel Byrne.
I've been told unofficially that I won it there with the lap time barrier and stuff, so I'm delighted with that. So 2 8s on the grid and then 2 wins today, so I'll take that, and the Jackson Memorial Cup as well, so I'll take that for today. Best weekend racing for me this year. As I said, the 2 wins that kind of put, I think I get second in the championship. I pipped the brother Tommy in that race, who was just behind me, hassled me all the race. So I think I just have him pipped for second in the championship as well. My other brother Aidan won it. He kind of had the work done from race 1 today, so happy enough now.